Just as a warning, I'm really stressed right now for basically no reason, but there are reasons, so I don't really know. I'm gonna make basically no sense. I'm gonna just shoot off ideas as they come to mind. I have no time to plan anything. I'm gonna edit this as soon as I film it, and then I will upload it when I get home tonight at like 9 o'clock. So there, I don't even know. Just very sorry for how weird this video is going to be. So Thursday, Katie, I don't remember what you talked about because it was so long ago now. I'm very sorry I can't actually respond to what you said because I don't have the time to watch your video because I'm so stressed and feel like I have no time whatsoever. I probably could go watch it, but I'm lazy. I'm a lazy bum. And I'm really sorry. James, on Monday, I remember that you talked about gray areas and how you were used to thinking about things as either black or white, good or bad, and I find that that's sort of the innocent sort of Disney view of things, where things are either good or evil, or people are either good or evil, and it's just simpler that way. But I think it's also a lot less interesting that way, and I personally have always been a big fan, as far as I can remember, of the gray area, where people aren't just good or evil. People are always good and evil in themselves, and I've always been a logical person and a very reasonable person, and so a lot of times I'll know two people are arguing about something and I can see how both people could be right, and I can justify both of their things to myself, and so I am a huge fan of the gray area because it does make things much more complicated and sometimes excessively complicated, but it does make things more interesting because I feel like a world of just black and white would be kind of dull almost. I don't really know why. It just seems to me that that would be the case, whereas with the gray areas, not everything is as static and definite and absolute. And look at me tying back to absolutes. Yeah. So, Spencer, yesterday you talked a little bit towards the end about religion. I'm just going to completely forego that topic because I don't really want to talk about that. Katie, if you want to talk about that tomorrow, that's awesome. I don't have the mental capacity to talk about religion right now. But you talked about arts and sciences and how they're different but are also the same, and I really agree with this, and I've always found this very interesting, and I've always been a big proponent of the arts. I'm a sort of relatively artsy person myself, but I do better in science sort of classes at school, sciences and math and all that stuff. That's why I'm a computer science major, but I am a huge lover of the arts, I suppose, not as much as many people, of course, but I do love the arts, and I do find them very useful, and actually I had a prof earlier this week say that in terms of schooling, at least, arts are useless, and I kind of lost huge respect for him there because that's a huge overstatement and kind of extremely rude, and I just don't agree with that at all. I find arts really meaningful, and they give us a sort of purpose to our life and a perspective on how we view the world, where science shows us how the world is, and art shows us how we see what is, and I don't know how to explain it better than that, and I apologize, but I find it always interesting to see how art changes over time, sort of thing. So as our worldview changes because of science, art also changes, and that's very cool that they are linked together, and there is a sort of gray area between them. Look at me tie that back as well. Not really, but sort of, okay. So yeah, there is a sort of gray area between there, and there's also a gray area between science and religion, of course, and I'm not going to talk about that like I said. And of course, there's a giant gray area between art and religion if you want to make a triangle out of those three, but whatever. So yeah, I find this really interesting. I don't have anything else to say because my mind is in a giant rattle right now. I'm just so stressed. It's only the fourth day of school today for me. I'm going to school at about 2:30 today because that's where my first class is, and I feel really stressed, so I'm very sorry for that. I just feel like I have no time to do anything because my schedule is so sucky, and in the next week to a week and a half or so, I'm going to be given extra work to do for the rest of the semester, which is not good because that's like an extra 2 hours of work to do every day. I don't have 2 hours every day. I'm at school for so much some days. I'm going to explode. I will see you guys on Friday. Please leave challenge suggestions down below. I appreciate when people give me challenge suggestions because it makes things a lot easier. And I will see you on Friday. Katie, I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.